What actually is the biggest issue with League of Legends from Azap? I'm curious.
Oh, they
what he
released
has
the
to say.
article on Sheep Esports that I wrote for. Judging
Let's see.
autofill lost motivation, the issues with solo queue in League of Legends.
Ooh, an article about dodging autofill, loss of motivation. Yeah, dodging autofill, I can say that much. It's annoying. I know why autofill exists. It is what it is. But dodging, there's no reason for dodging. Let's be honest.
Maybe let's go over this. See, did they include what I sent them?
Let's see.
Streamers agree Riot Games could do more. Okay. Solo queue has always been at the core of the competitive League of Legends scene. I agree. Yep. So aspiring pros first start off, or they used to, but now it's a bit weird. Streamers showcase their skill and where millions of players test their limits every season, trying to hit the ranked goals of Diamond Master Challenge and so on. But despite backbone League of Legends, solo queue is one of the most discussed and criticized part of the game. True. To get a better understanding of the state of solo queue, Sheep Esports has reached out to multiple ELO streamers. I'm actually curious about the thoughts of everyone here. On the experience, this pronounces reptile curious scenarios as that fantasy.
Where's me? Did you ask me? No, I guess I'm an EOD nerd. Okay.
Letters. They shared both positive and negative as well as their ideas, what they'd like to see Riot Games implement to improve solo queue. Help pros, average players, and content creators still have a better experience. Sit down for 6 hours.
I think is that like keeping like good players and content creators happy keeps the rest of the community happy as well, because a lot of people love to watch content about League of Legends. So if the game is bad and the streamer does bad things, then the community will do bad as well. Although I wonder how many people actually watch content creators, because I feel like with any game really, most people, they just play the game, they don't care. The game is fun, they play the game. The game is not fun, they don't play the game. They don't care about content and Twitter and all the news, and they don't even read patch notes. They don't care. They just want to play the game or don't. That's it. That's all they do. Alright? Go remember that.
Play 3 of those are not spent playing. Yep. This is where the big discussion started with this. Each streamer agreed that solo queue's challenge competitive spirit is alive, but fading. It's been fading for a while. A few point out that currently there exists no real incentive to try to climb to the top. Challenger outside the intrinsic draw of hitting high elo.
I mean, isn't it the same with anything really? Especially competitive gaming in general? What do you get if you reach Challenger? Challenger recall, I guess. Cool, whatever. There's no Challenger backpack or anything anymore. You guys remember the Challenger backpacks and jackets? Those used to be so cool. I don't even get it anymore. It sucks. I'm Challenger and don't get anything anymore. I wish I was Challenger back in the day. But I was too young and stupid to be the Challenger then.
Words like the Challenger backpack, which I used to send to Challengers players pre-2019, no longer exist. Some did praise the game balance and effect on climbing solo queue, arguing the game is currently one of the best balanced states ever, where everything is played with champion diversity. Azap stated that so many champions are viable and can be built in many different ways. Kira echoed the sentiment.
I think this is something very interesting. The fact that the game right now is very balanced, in my opinion, a lot of people say this as well. The game is very balanced right now. You can play whatever you want, it's going to be fine. You can do fine, every champion is okay. Yeah, some are maybe stronger and whatever, but you can climb at least master with any champion in the game. I think that's incredible. So because of this, if the game is good and everything is balanced, the only thing that matters right now when it comes to your climb and your LP is how you play the game. And yeah, guess what? When the only thing that's holding you back is yourself, that's when tilt and negativity starts to kick in. No matter what happens, it's your fault. And that's true. It's 100% true. You just gotta take accountability, otherwise I'm not going to climb. There's no like, oh, I'm gonna play this broken champion, so I'm gonna climb with it. Abuse the meta and stuff. Right now, there's no meta to be abused. You can play whatever you want, it's gonna be fine. I think that's amazing, but again, right, there's no get out of jail free card for people to use. You just got, and also the items are balanced and everything is just balanced. You just gotta play better if you wanna climb. And that's it. There's nothing else you can do right now. And that's just very hard to accept for a lot of people. And this is why you see people changing champions, constantly changing items, builds, constantly runes. They just want a way to climb. But they don't actually know how to climb, which is reviewing your own gameplay, taking accountability for your own actions, setting a learning objectives. Those are things you need to do. Those are the things you need to do.
Calling game very balanced overall. True. Discussing negative solo queue, the streamers agree on many key issues. Long queue times plague the experience, especially in high elo. When players do get into games, it's often under an autofill role they didn't choose, hurting their fun and the game's quality. When it comes to high-elo games where players are skilled and specialized set of roles, just 1 or 2 players assigned the autofill roles can completely break down the game balance.
That's true. I look at my games here, for example. Today, I got filled twice. I played 4 games, I got filled twice. So, yeah, suffering. Not even one I won, because lucky. Mazar one I went 0-8. But it's just so annoying to get filled. Like, who the hell plays more than one role? Not many people. Very little people play. I understand why autofill is a thing, because if you didn't have autofill, and let's say mid is the most popular role in the game, there are going to be mid laners that will never find a game because there's not enough games for the mid laners that want to queue up. That's what's going to happen. So autofill has to exist because otherwise there are people that cannot play. So yeah, but what's bad is the fact that dodging exists. Dodging makes queue times longer and makes autofill more probable as well. Dodging is very bad. That's what it needs to be addressed for autofill to also kind of get fixed a little bit, in my opinion.
This many agree is purely unfun. So this is why you should they should also do pre-bans. One of the reasons why people get a little bit spoiled, and it's a one-trick favorite system at the moment. Whereas if you had to deal a bit more randomness, people would become more robust, and eventually high elo would mean actually players are really good at most things in high elo. Regrets Laterus, 3 of those are not spent playing. Holy. Another major game delaying issue that streamers identify dodging.
Oh,
True!
yes.
Holy
Yes.
shit. The others mentioned. When any of the 10 players leave the game lobby during Champs League, the queue begins again, often dragging wait times out minutes and more. Dodging and autofill are 2 connected issues, as players often dodge when autofill.
Yep.
Preferring to quit rather than
So true. Damn.
play the role. This just creates a vicious cycle that leads streamers and everyday casual players alike to have definitely... I mean, this is like a problem and a fake problem. If you remove the dodging, the autofill dodging doesn't exist. So it's like, they only exist because dodging exists. And then hence people would play more when they're autofill, hence people would become more stable at their own elo at playing the things that they're not comfortable with.
True.
Waiting to play.
That's true, right? Because I'm bad when you put me mid lane. That's true. But that means if I get filled mid, I should lose more often. So that should bring my total LP down because I'm bad in mid game. I think that's fine, you know. It is what it is. It's part of the game. But man, just dodging non-stop, it's so frustrating. It's so bad.
Play the games. I've called James like given its merit issues inefficient and outdated.
Oh, yeah.
Right isn't punishing grief and toxicity enough. I don't think this is true. I don't think this is true as much anymore. I feel like this is what...
yeah, Riot Games right now is actively working on punishing griefing and toxicity. They are punishing them more and more and more. They are doing good. And also look at this. I just went champ select field. Can I support? Said my mid laner. It's so bad. And now we've got to swap roles. Autofill, man. It sucks, but it is what it is. And we're probably going to see a dodge as well. It's annoying.
One of the major strides that Riot has done and kept getting better and better at it. For all the spamming about like toxicity and toxicity in general, like you can't really be toxic. You will get chat muted very, very quickly.
True.
And the griefing and soft hinting, we're getting much, much better at that. So I would disagree with this one, I guess.
Yeah.
One major problem that becomes synonymous with League of Legends is the solo queue toxicity. This affects every elo, and the streamers, we're all in agreement the Riot Games need to take more action to combat toxicity.
They're doing it.
I don't think I mentioned toxicity in this way. Right now, not enough is being done to prevent and punish bad behavior. The Riot isn't punishing griefing toxicity enough, multiple streamers echoed. Yeah, people...
No, they are, right? The thing is that they're working on it right now. It's just going to take a while. It will take a while for them to implement it. Because if you know anything about Riot Games, they do things in advance, and it takes time. So by next year, I predict that next year, legit, if you do anything that's, you know, soft int and whatever you give up, you're just going to get banned. I think that's what's going to happen, especially Master and above. It's going to happen. Hopefully, right? That's my prediction, because I know Riot is aware of this problem for sure.
We'll get chat restricted for typing GG. I think the systems are as tightly wound as you possibly can without producing like crazy counterproductive effects. Last time, minor solo queue issue some point out is ELO inflation, claiming that the abundance of inflated players in Master and Grandmaster rank should lead Riot to respond and look into above a Diamond MR reset. Inflation is up and people are trying less. This I agree with this. A few streamers mentioned who wanted to remain anonymous in this article. No,
I mean, inflation, is it a problem? I'm not sure about this. Like, there's a ton of master players right now, which is true, but can I do something about it? I'm not sure. What do you have to say, Azap? I'm not sure on this one.
I agree with this. I definitely agree with the inflation. Okay, think about ladder as a system that needs constant recalibration. It's like you have millions of players, and the system needs to know exactly where you belong in the exact time slice of the game in which you exist. And that is an impossible task. Okay. So
True.
for your ELO to be perfectly accurate, you need to play infinite games.
True.
Okay?
True.
You can imagine that tending towards infinity. You got to play infinite amount of games to be at the exact ELO where you belong. Now, chances are people are not going to play infinite games. In fact, chances are like very tiny minority is going to play even upwards of 1,000. That's people whose game is basically a full-time job, or they're aspiring to have it as a full.
True, and this is why a lot of these problems, in my opinion, only happen to streamers. Really, most of the time, like streamers are the ones. Because they just play the game so bloody much, you know? That's why. Let's see. More ASAP.
Full-time job. So, mainly people are within lists. So, any sort of inaccuracy there will be shown. The crack in the lens, you know, like the fly in the ointment. There's going to be many inaccuracies within the ELO where you belong. And now boosting adds to this, which was very prevalent. Cheating, i.e. scripting, used to add to this. So you have a lot of, you still have probably accounts that stop.
Props to Riot Games. Like cheating was a big problem. Like it was like 10% of master games, or even more maybe, if I remember correctly, were like you had a scripter in them. It was wild, and they fixed it. And now they're doing the same with all the like negative people, which is amazing.
Cheating when the game got really good at detecting it, but they're still inaccurate. You have many sold accounts. You have a ton of accounts, and these are all like inaccuracies that accrued over time. And the more you have them, the worse it gets. So. Not to mention how the game is designed. You have many master players who are not even close to the other master players in terms of game skill and game knowledge. Precisely because of this. Not to mention, you used to be able, there was like a patch where you could duo. Not even a patch, there was like a whole last season where people would duo in Challenger, even though you couldn't duo in Challenger. You'd have competitive, professional players dodging Diamond to Master promotions. So that would be like a loss because they dodged them. They would inflate MMR so they could duo practice in solo queue.
That was horrible.
Professional players did that. I have videos meeting against them. Right? So you had a bunch of times. This also produced inaccuracy. People would do this all the time. They would dodge to inflate RMR. So there would be higher MMR producing even more inaccuracies. So eventually one way to pull the plug here is to do a full reset. Or a Master Plus reset. I think you can do that. I think that's one of the...
That'll be interesting. I'd be down for that. And if the next season they reset everybody, it's going to be chaos at the start of the season. It's going to be chaos. But after that, things will even out.
It will have a positive influence over time. Because the board streamers therefore agree on the same issue.
Imagine you give the same MMR to every single person in the ladder. Everybody has the same MMR. That would be so cool. You have Challenger players and Iron players in the same games. It would be carnage and RNG at the start of the season, but it will even out eventually. It would be funny though. I would love to see that.
Each of them propose a different solution to improve solo queue fun. Desperate asks, fix queue timers. I don't know how you do this without like harming the game quality. Even now the game quality in high elo is terrible if you get like 2 masters within Challenger game. So I don't know how queue timers will be fixed. Remove fill in high elo. See, this is like counterproductive.
But here's I want to say this on this topic. Like, we don't need to know how to fix the problems. Us players have no responsibility to figure out how to fix these problems. Our responsibility, it's not even our responsibility, but let's say it's our responsibility to just say, hey, I don't like the queue timers. I think filling in high elo is garbage. I think dodging the games is very bad as well, and I don't like surrendering. Cool. And I don't like toxic people either. Okay, cool. Those are my problems right now. Riot Games listens to the advice, to the feedback, and it's up to them to fix these problems. That's how it is, you know? Yeah, I could maybe give suggestions, but I'm not a game designer. What do I know? I only know from my perspective. I don't know anything behind the scenes, what's going on at Riot and stuff. It's just way crazier what they do there. Yeah. So it's up to them to fix the problems. Any advice I give is probably wrong anyway. You know?
To itself, because if you remove fill in high elo, the queue timers go up, right? Like It's not consistent
Because think about it, it's like if it was an easy problem to fix, they would have done it already. It's hard to fix these problems, of course.
with itself. It make climbing more rewarding. That I agree with 100%, and that will actually attack this issue. Punish griefers by mainly reviewing games. So Reptile's proposing something which seemingly to a user of League of Legends makes a lot of sense, but it's gonna get like thrown out of a board meeting immediately.
You can't review games manually. No shot.
Because as soon as you mention, like, you would need about 50 people to cover this, like, the manual reviews and all that, like, fuck off! Get the hell out of my meeting, That's, like, they're just imagining the cost of said endeavor, and it's just not gonna happen, right?
No.
Voice chat, improve communication. This one is definitely a thing.
Voice chat. Azap was, by the way, on a Broken by Concept podcast. He was on it, and they were discussing surrendering. Azap wants surrendering. Meanwhile, like Curtis, for example, Nathan don't want it. And it was an interesting episode. When it comes to voice chat, I'm on the team that says add it for 2 weeks above master to test and see what happens. I just want to see what happens. Like, it's so hard to predict if it's good or bad for the game. So just add it for 2 weeks as an experiment. See what happens. Is it good or does the hell break loose? Let's just see what happens, And then make a decision, because you cannot predict if it's good or bad for the game unless you test it. But then enabling only for 2 weeks, imagine the cost of that. It's easy to say, oh, but they already have voice chat. You just enable it for the premates. It's not that easy. It's not that easy, especially because moderation has to be taken into account as well. And there's many, many, many other problems that you don't even realize with voice chat that are just expensive, only for an experiment, not worth it. So, and also might be other reasons behind the scenes why they don't want voice chat in the game, which is fair. Personally, hey, I trust Riot Games to know better. That's my opinion. It is what it is, right? If they try it, cool. If not, okay, no problem. It's all good. That's my opinion.
I think it has more pros and cons in the game, and eventually it will be implemented. It just depending on how and in what capacity, right? Incentivize climbing with better rewards and punish clear of in-traders trolls. Okay, I think this is what they're kind of doing fairly well recently. Again,
yeah, they're doing good.
Think back how many times we would see actual in-traders and griefers. Now it's a bit less, and this I agree with 100%. Okay, here's this up. Remove dodging entirely, add voice chat for better team coordination, redesign champs like with pre-bans, improve the client experience. Good. I did write a full-on Bible, but
he did.
That's a decent summary. That's way more. That's way more. I could share like the full-on writing.
Yeah, dodging is a problem though, for sure.
Scenarios: lower the queue times and decide if you want to be filled or not. This is just.
Yeah, again, like with the field problem, I feel like feeling has to happen in the game. It has to happen. Like, you can't have League of Legends without autofill. I don't think it's possible. It's just not. Like, then you would have people that never find the game because there's too many mid laners in the queue right now. Like, they will never get to play or what? You have to feel. It is what it is. Just, fix other issues like champ select and dodging and stuff, and then feeling might become less of a problem. Look at that. Wow. Yay. And now next queue pop, watch, I'm going to get filled. You see? So if dodging never happened, I would have never gotten filled here. Like, it's just an example. It's insane. It's that bad.
This produces, like, any sort of segmentation is not good in solo queue if you do this sort of stuff. You don't want to separate people. Punishing toxicity more. I don't know how you would do that. Like, you wouldn't be able to write anything.
Honestly, when it comes to toxicity, bro, like if you hate that somebody is saying "Mom Go Sky," just mute and disable your chat and whatever. Like, wow, I don't think toxicity is a problem in League at all, because it's that easy to just mute somebody and ignore them. That's just me, though. I don't think it's a problem. But inting, on the other hand, like intentionally like griefing the game and being negative in the game and giving up, that's a bigger problem to me. They can address toxicity later. And I think toxicity right now is fine, because you just get insta muted if you're toxic, and it's fine. They did a good job when it comes to toxicity. But yeah, gameplay wise though, that's what they're working on right now, which is very good to see.
Giving something back to the community for climbing high elo, that is definitely a good take. We want that. Yeah, everyone's saying like lower the queue time. You need to like list out how, because I don't know how you would list out. How would you lower queue time? I propose
Yeah, by doing everything else. That's how you lower queue time.
like numerous actual changes. How do you lower the queue time? And again, it's in the full writings. Make drastic changes to both dodging and filling, as well as the champ select itself. See, this is one of those.
Yeah, champ select can be fixed a little bit. For example, this is what Azab said as well. Like right now, I could select my pre-pick champion. I would put Yunara here. I pre-pick Yunara. And then, when it comes to the ban, I would say ban Lucian. You know, pre-pick Yunara, ban Lucian. I get into the game, Yunara is pre-picked. So if an ally has the pre-pick, sorry, the pre-ban be Yunara, because I pre-picked, Yunara will not get banned instantly. You know? And a lot of the times it would happen, we will have games where everybody's pick and bans are just unique. So we just keep the whole pre-pick phase and the whole ban phase just gets skipped instantly and we have the first pick. Like that would save so much time. So much time. I'd love to see that.
Which I don't know what drafting means in terms of the filling. For dodging, I 100% agree, and the champ select, I agree, because this has very, very real impact on the queue times, so you can make the game healthier. We have Lati fix the
Why is the video lagging? What the hell?
queue time and dodges with the above suggestion. Fix the stainless by adding more items in the game. I agree. I agree. There needs to be more items, and I think that's something that's echoed by Riot Games themselves. I think Riot is listening
yeah,
to...
like, items are fun, you know? Like, we are all memeing on League of Items, but items are very core and fun part of the game. So I'm excited to see, like, what new crit items Riot Games will cook, because we all know they're
High-low
coming.
players at all. Okay. Quality of solo queue has arguably trended downhill over the years because of these reasons and more. Pro players are taking solo queue less seriously. Many of the streamers claim, Azap in particular mentioned surrendering as a high impact issue. It's gone public.
Bro, like, surrendering is bad. Like, why can you, like, why do you have the option to go into a game and give up? Because surrendering means you give up. Why is that an option? Why do you have the option to give up? I don't think it should be an option. You should never be allowed to give up in a competitive game, in my opinion. That's all right. Unless, okay, the game is 50 minutes. Sure, then you can surrender. Okay, cool. You know, honestly.
I swear, I did not write much about surrendering. I because everyone knows that's my stance. I didn't even write it too much about surrendering. I just mentioned his past.
So that you cannot get hostage by the enemy team? There's no such thing as getting hostage by the enemy team. What do you mean get hostage by the enemy team? Like, they don't want to end, okay, but you can surrender later in the game, no problem, right? But what I'm talking about here, the surrender being a problem, is 15-minute surrender. Is not unanimous for some reason. You can have all 4 of your teammates give up and that's it. That's bad. I feel like you should only be allowed like to surrender after 30 minutes. 30-ish, 40 minutes each. That's when okay, surrendering could become an option if enemies like legit hostage you. That's fine. Alright, that's fine. But you don't get hostage before Elder spawns. You know? Like legit, what? Like, and also, how can the enemy team hostage you? The game doesn't work that way. There's no such thing as being hostage because the game will eventually end. If all your team is in the base and the enemies are not pushing, like, the minions push towards you naturally if the enemy team is ahead. You know? Like, then you cannot get hostaged in League of Legends, in my opinion. It's just not possible. Except some of those very, very, very rare occasions. And that's when you can have surrender very late game, sure. But no way you should have surrender before 30 minutes, is my opinion.
Passing is like one of the key problems, and I refuse to write on it because this was like a new piece. Before I look against the game culture that teaches players to give up and surrender quickly. Bro, I feel like everybody reading this article is like, this about surrendering again. But can the community ever be made not to have F15 go next? Inflation is up and players are taking solo queue less seriously, so there's no close no incentive when streamers climb. True. Many high-level streamers are representation over they see lack of communication.
I know, climbing is fun. I climb because I like playing the game. And if I play the game, might as well play to win and to get divisions. And, you know, it's fun. I like it. That's why I play the game. It's fun.
Consideration from Riot Games. I think Riot is listening to high elo players at all. I don't think that's true.
I think they're listening.
Communicating a sentiment.
I think they're listening for sure. 100%. Like, yeah, you just, Riot Games is listening. People at Riot are listening. They know. Trust me when I say that some Riot employees do watch streamers. Yeah, crazy. I know, right? It's crazy. They do watch streamers, believe it or not. Yeah.
Care about many in the upper ranks of solo queue. Phantasm, I barely ever see anything from Riot. Just think solo queue change their concern. Okay, so solo queue is the backbone of League of Legends, and any sort of change on the solo queue would have a tremendous reverberations down the road. Yes. So you really gotta think it through when they do it. I don't think they're when they mention it, they're very careful about it, and I think they are soaking up ideas. They're just not gonna quickly do anything radical.
Yeah, they gotta make sure about whatever they implement is good and it doesn't make the game worse. Because right now the game is good. Their goal is to make it better and not make it worse, and that's hard. It's very hard. Like a game that's bad, you can fix it and make it better. Cool. But a game that's already good and popular and everything, how do you make it better? It's so difficult to do. So you gotta take it slow.
Because one wrong move on solo queue can kill the game. It's a very difficult, like, spinal surgery that if you're not precise, you fuck it up. The only thing I remember them acknowledging was the issue of being auto-filled into jungle. They mentioned so much stuff. Like, if you follow Drew Levin or if you, like, follow Frogzone, Drew Levin talks a lot about theoretical concept. Frogzone explains basically every single change that they go into. Yes. They're very vocal. I think
I completely agree with this.
We're, in a way, spoiled because not many games interact at this level with the community. And
honestly, I feel like we need a Mordog for League of Legends. You guys know Mordog for TFT. Like, he used to, right now he's doing a bit less, but I guess he's doing it still. Like, he talks to the community a lot. He streams like every weekend. And it's just so cool to have like direct communication from like the head of TFT, basically. I think that's just so cool. Now imagine we had like one of these higher ups that work on League of Legends stream every weekend and answer questions and all that good stuff. That'd be so cool for communication. I would love to see that. I guess it's a bit, hard to expect somebody that works 8 hours a day to also stream on top of it and still be healthy, because Mordog has problems with his like work-life relationship, He's obsessed with TFT, so he can do a lot, but not many people have the capacity to do that. And hell no, it's difficult to do that. No way.
All of this is unnecessary, by the way. The amount of respect I have for people like Riot August going to the stream and saying, yes, I'm a Riot dev, ask me anything. And he's an open book and talks to people about everything.
True, Riot August does stream every now and then. That's very cool.
It is insane. It's insane how he would like voluntarily step into the fire to do that. And he doesn't need to do that. Right? Like Riot Frogzone doesn't have to answer to random people on Twitter going on random conspiracies about a loser's queue. And yet they do.
True.
Okay, Drew did the same thing. Recently I shared a Twitter thread. So I don't agree with that. Communication sentiments to upper rank solo queue. The only thing I remember them acknowledging, never follow up with any actual changes. Like, again, I don't see any real solutions to this. What is the solution to this? Not having autofill into jungle? That has many pros and cons. Again, you gotta think it through. On social media, writers will sometimes make contact about high elo players and other members of the fan base, but the official league partner program has been closed for years. Yeah, that is just league.
True, the league partner program. Like, I remember when I was like just getting started with YouTube and everything, I really want to be a league partner. I thought it was cool. Like, it was one of my goals. And one of the requirements was to be a Twitch partner. And now I'm a Twitch partner, but I can't be a league partner because they don't accept anybody anymore. I don't know why. It's so weird. Like, you gotta get new people in, you gotta get new people. It's cool to have new people. It's very amazing. It means the community is growing and everything.
Partner program was a failure, and I think whoever got put on it was a terribly inept, incompetent person. Whoever got put on that. I think league partner program essentially became like vessel to boost your own influence for whoever was writer who was leading it. They would invite their friends into the program. They would invite
I didn't know that much.
seemingly random people who even stopped making content of League like very quickly or weren't making that much content in the first place, like 50 to 20 viewers, streamers that were using it to meet hot e-girls or something like that. Like, I don't fucking know. It's just,
Is it real?
it was just entirely ignored, and it was lingering. Even now, there are still promotional packages. Like, look how inefficient this is. A League Riot Partner Program has been defunct, I think since 2020, 2021 or something like that.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Maybe even longer. So
No, even like I'm not exactly sure when, but yeah.
for like 5 years, it's been a dead project. That they're not like indicting new members at all. Okay? They're not making any new cool ideas with it, but the packages still keep flowing. So they
Yeah, it's so weird. Like the League Partner program is kind of dead. They don't accept anybody anymore. But for some reason, the people that are already partners, they kind of do some things with them. It's kind of weird. It's so weird. I don't understand. It's kind of a forgotten thing, you know?
have this like marketing department which issues packages to partners on like a monthly, bi-monthly, whatever, like quarterly basis. They will send packages to people in the LPP as promotional pieces. They will send them skins on a monthly basis that they just bait people to reshare on Twitter, right? So they will give away skins. They will do this all the time, and yet nobody can get in.
Yeah, true.
So the packages are flowing, and the packages usually end up on people who are no longer doing League content.
Yeah, true. Like this is so real. Like so real. This League Partner program needs to be a ever-changing thing. You need to have partners come and go. New ones need to arrive. Those that kind of stop doing content and so on, you kind of need to get them out. It needs to be constantly fresh, constantly updated, because that's normally content creation. Some content creators move on to other things, they stop streaming, they do other things, they do other types of content. That's okay. But then you have new streamers, new content creators coming as well, and they grow their channels, and it's very cool to see that. You don't want to have just the same content creators over and over again. It's very cool to have new ones. It's amazing. And they need to like make people want to become a content creator in the League space, you know, because then Riot would work with you, and it's just amazing. I wish that was the case.
Okay? Like, how do I explain this? It's like you subscribe to a YouTube channel, and in 5 years you get like recommended videos from them. You will move on. You have moved on. It's definitely not the correct allocation of resources. You're not putting those resources to good use. You're not giving them to people who are really for your cause and promoting League of Legends in a way.
True.
So it's really, really bad how this is being handled. It's terribly inefficient, and partner program needs to be reinvigorated with like somebody good leading it. Dual queue issue.
That's true. Somebody that's willing to like communicate and take on the toxicity of the community, embrace it, you know, be in the firing lines, you know. This is what we need somebody like that that's willing to do that. It's very hard to find somebody like that, but yeah, that's what needs to happen.
What is this? One especially contentious topic is the queue. It's dual queue. I got asked about this, by the way, as well. Queuing up for the rank ladder with another player. Opinions are mixed. Some strongly oppose the argument leads to unfair matchups. Two random master players together have a big disadvantage. True. They can coordinate, even use voice chat. Other support for the social benefits provide every player, including streamers, as well as the content avenue it provides. It's also just a lot of fun. Most agree fun to play with friends. League of Legends.
Do most League players play with friends or solo? I think that's a good question. Not sure. In solo queue, I guess alone, but otherwise I think it's just fun to play League with friends. It's always fun.
Legends solo queue remains an intense and rewarding experience for many, but it's dragged down by systemic issues. Long queue times, dodging and autofill, toxicity, and poor incentives. So I guess a lot of them are kind of like... A lot of them are overlapping between the different content creators, so you can use that seeming cooperation and understanding on the same topic that they can fix it. I shouldn't be able to do it with my friend in silver because it will really ruin the rank ladder. No, I don't think it's even like a problem below master, because it's not a competitive elo, nobody cares.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like below master's duo queue is perfect. Right now you can duo in master elo, which is, I don't know, I guess, sure. I don't mind it personally, right? But in GM and Challenger, definitely duo queue is not very healthy, that's for sure.
In master, in idealistic world, master plus idealistic world, you wouldn't want duo queue. This is what I wrote about, by the way.
I think I remember what Riot said about Master Reload duo queue. It might not be the best for the integrity of the ladder and the competitive side, but it's more fun for the players that want to do in Master. It's fun to play with a friend. So they enable it, which I think is fair. You know, it's okay. I don't mind it.
You wouldn't want it because it would ruin the solo queue integrity. That being said, there's many other things that are much greater than that, like
True.
dodging, that ruins solo queue integrity
Exactly, hashtag priorities.
in the first place. So what you're looking for is like a tiny risk versus reward. You have a tiny risk of a little bit of an inaccuracy into the solo queue with a duo queue, but you have zero social opportunities provided by Riot Games for cooperation between other streamers and people. You don't have custom game modes. You don't have ability to customize the game modes. I can't go into Arena and make it like 6-player with like different rule set that I will type in. I can't make a different tournament rule set for Arena games. Like you only get these augments, you get Velcros, you get... I can't do that. I have zero amount of customizations available to me. I cannot make anything for my own community that's kind of creative.
I mean, I don't think that's a very high priority for Riot Games to like enable you to make your own game mod. I think that's a bit extreme. I think that's asking for too much though.
Other people can't do this. Riot Games is not doing any of these cooperation events, and even like the Twitch rivals completely has been halted. Like you don't see that at all anymore. And it used to be like a very fun thing that would tightly like that would give exposure to everyone. It would like be this cooperative effort to make League of Legends more palatable to people. It gotten so bad. That's why Los Ratones did a mega big thing for League of Legends community, because
It's very true. Los Ratones like carried League for a while. Now it's kind of like, I mean, they're still cool, but less. But for a while, for a few months, they carried the community. They carried the interest of that people had in League in general. I think that's amazing. They did a great thing.
all of this missing, all of these features and the interaction missing from Riot Games is what led to such a big like following and support wave towards Los Ratones, because they were seemingly doing all of those things at the same time. They were revitalizing competitive they were like a bunch of streamer friends who were making very cool and fun content, which is what people need. People need that. Like, it has fallen to people to manually resuscitate this sort of content. Like, it's literally like lying on its deathbed, and people have to revive it somehow.
Jesus.
Because Riot does nothing. They need to appoint somebody in Riot Games who's going to be really good at this, who's going to be like a coordinator and talk with the... Or not talk, but like... They will create very cool events.
Yeah, I think we need a Mort dog for League of Legends. I think that's what we need. That would make the game like indirectly better, you know, because people would be more interested in the game if we had more stuff with content creators and direct communication from Riot. That'd be so cool. You know, of course they can't tell us everything, but you know, you get what I mean.
And yeah, I'm sad like most of my writing didn't go in here. I did write a lot, but yeah, I suppose like this is like mainly like, okay, what these are the problems, that's the problems, right? Do you agree that's the problem? Okay, I agree that's the problem. But not many like propositions on how to fix things, which I think is where the big problem is. And again, we shouldn't expect everything from Riot Games. We can also help them out by adding a little bit of ideas here and there. So I can still publish like the full writing. People have been asking me even before on Twitter. When Evie wrote about like me writing the whole ass Bible, so people are like, "Can I read this?" So yeah, I'll publish the full thing.
Yeah, Azab does like tweets that are like so long. He's like he's writing his thesis in every in every tweet.
And you guys can read it if you care. Yeah, good article talking about different problems and a lot of agreement in a way. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we all agree on dodging people problem, autofill being annoying, queue times being annoying. We all agree on that. Yeah. How do we fix them is the hard part, but we all agree on it.
Perfect. We got Drew Levin instantly responding. Curious for those who quoted the one to autofill gun. In what world where we force people to queue for a priority role and kill autofill that way? Does that solve the issue, or do people really want to wait for however long to place mid top? Yeah, this is exactly the point. I agree with this. I agree with this for sure. Like, that's why autofill is like the problem, where dodging is the problem. If you remove dodging, autofill, people will have to like bite the bullet. I actually talked to Drew about that, by the way. Penalizing dodging more harshly would improve so many things. For sure, for sure.
Yeah,
it would make
100%.
like a big fucking impact. It's probably the #1 problem. I think we agreed on it. It was like a #1 problem right now. Okay, I'm posting the whole thing. Here's the whole thing, guys.
Oh my god, no.
Here's the whole thing.
Oh my, what is this tweet?
Here's the thing.
I guarantee maybe 10%, if that. Maybe 5, only 5% maybe percent of people will read that. People don't want to read nowadays. Nobody wants to read anymore. It's weird. Everyone's just used to videos. We watch video, we don't read, we listen.